And hello, YouTube. Hello, wonderful people that have been following my journey, that have been following our journey. We, myself and my friend Sashi of the Golden Soul Sanctuary, have so many cool things going on right now. And I'm going to bring Sashi on in a minute. Before we get into all of these amazing, intricate things and offerings that we're going to be sharing today, I want to take just a few moments to talk about some of the crazy, amazing opportunities that you guys can take advantage of this month that we're providing. We've been just churning out creative content and techniques and methodologies to not only improve the quality of our own lives, but to help all of you elevate yourselves and improve the quality of your lives. So tomorrow, we are doing the creation of the magical name training and workshop. So this is starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And in this training, we are going to be going into trance states, daydreaming while awake, so you can receive from the core of yourself your own special magical name. This is a name of tremendous power. It'll come to you in whatever your native language is, but as a class, we're going to translate it. We use AI, we use other means of finding different languages, expression of that name, and you find the language that's most connected to your spiritual path, to your ancestry, whatever you deem as significant for you. And that name becomes your divine name of power. You can use this in magical operations to summon beings. You can use the name to heal people. If you need to energize something or manifest something, this name can be used for that. Furthermore, in the Egyptian thought process, the name, the magical name, sometimes referred to as the Ren, is said to survive death and is said to be a key ingredient in the immortalization process. In Taoism, they say if you don't have a spiritual name, when you die, it's like you're spiritually homeless. So you have to return. You're only known by your earth name, so you return to earth. That's the idea. If it's true, who knows? What I do know is ever since I made mine, my name got better and my life got a lot better too. So the magical name, they say to keep it a secret, because if somebody knows it, it's like they have access to the innermost parts of you. So it's your special name. We're going to be making that the 13th, that is tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you love magic, if you love the occult, if you love understanding how to work with energy to change your life and your consciousness, join me and Sashi on the 16th. This is going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is a magical ritual called the alchemical flame of healing and divine will. We are going to be using the power of fire to transmute negative emotions and tensions in relationships. From here, we take all of that transformed energy and we apply it to our purpose. So this is going to be a training on healing your relationships, discovering your purpose, and marrying the two, because your purpose should never take you away from your life. It should never take you away from your relationships. It's meant to blend with all of these things, because your purpose, multidimensional, and you can exercise your purpose in any situation you're in, no matter how high, no matter how low. There are options connected to your purpose, your divine will. Your divine name helps you find your divine will. So these trainings are meant to come together. And as you can imagine, we are preparing everyone. Me and Sashi are launching an Egyptian magical mystery school called the Temple of the, well, I'm saying the name too big. I have a big way of saying it, but Sashi condensed it. She's a master of condensing things to the essence. So you just know what it is. Blue Lotus Temple. That is what we have called the school. I'm always very fancy, but the Blue Lotus Temple. And it's an amazing offering because we're launching the first iteration of it November. It's starting November 2nd. So please mark your calendars. Today's transmission is going to be a lot of Egyptian stuff. We're going to be talking about the school. Ryokah is going to be talking about his role in it, but he's also going to get into a lot of ancient history, a lot of really powerful connections that ETs, Atlanteans, and Egyptians, and all of us share. So it's going to be a pretty expansive transmission for you guys today. So please stay tuned, because at the end, he's going to lead us through a very deep meditation to help you connect to your highest extraterrestrial guide that is shared as a guide between you, the present self, and the Egyptian past self that you're connected to. So for me, that being is Ryokah. He specifically said that. He's like, I've worked with you as another form when we were in Egypt. I'm working with you here, but it is still me. So, with that being said, as you can see, that connection has really opened up a lot of doors for me. The same thing's there for all of you. So, we're going to be getting into that today. And if you want to dive in, if you want your life to become a magical world of miraculous possibility and realization, come to our mystery school because we're going to show you things that you've probably only seen glimpses of in your dreams. So we're going to pull that dream world forth, and we're here to help you do it. And that's what we've done. That's how we live. We weave this dream. And I love hanging out and working with other dream weavers because the tapestry is immaculate. And with that being said, Sashi, thank you so much for being here. It's great to be creating with you once more. How's everything?
Everything is quite fantastic. I'm very excited to be here with you as well and to facilitate these teachings and to help people realize the times of ancient Egypt, they're not really in the past. They are just as relevant then as they are now. And so this is something that we will be exploring in our mystery school. It is a return to that time. It is a continuation of that lineage. And as Tyler said, we will be learning to dream worlds into existence. That is what Ryokah's mystery school is all about. And we are going to dive right into that. So whenever you're ready, my friend.
Yeah, it sounds perfect. So let me take a nice few deep breaths and then we'll dive right in. Yeah. Well, let me thank you all for joining us for this very special transmission for the Blue Lotus Temple, of course, as the one you know, as Sashi has disclosed, this temple and its operations in many ways represents a continuation of the many processes that we all together were involved in during the empire's existence, that empire being what you would call ancient Egypt, which was an extension of Atlantis. Atlantis was a global empire. As that global empire fell, the Egyptian empire really took off. And many royal members of the Atlantean society traveled to Egypt and began to really reinforce the essence of their empire, which had fallen. And other Atlanteans traveled to many other locations, forming new colonies to carry on their culture's ways. And some were already existing colonies that simply grew to greater levels of power once the main empire of Atlantis fell. Nevertheless, our primary connection for everyone here is ancient Egypt. But of course, the magic, the power, the technologies of ancient Egypt draws upon that of ancient Atlantis. In terms of the origin of many of the Atlantean technologies and metaphysical understandings, there really are two. One is of the earth, one is of the stars. The Atlanteans were able to build their empire to such powerful degrees due to assistance they were receiving from the Lemurians, whom were not called Lemurians. That's just a convenient name you've all chosen. Remember, Lemuria just means land of lemurs, and it, of course, was named this by the scientist whom first postulated its existence within your more recent histories. Of course, it was known about in ancient times under a different name, but you've all sort of chosen Lemuria as a convenient way to talk about this. But this original society was what grew Atlantis, and the Atlanteans sought deeper levels of communication with beings that they deemed as possessors of higher knowledge, and this was the beings of Sirius, whom answered that call and whom began to work with them. The beings of Sirius, they play with the properties of both light and dark. They will simply give you information. What you do with it is up to you. So they shared information, knowing some of the consequences, but nevertheless, they did what they did because they knew that's what humanity needed to go throughout those times, during those times. So in terms of the continuation, what we are going to be doing in the Blue Lotus Temple is the following. We are going to be accessing the depths of the energy body's power and potential. The energy body is deeply linked to the subconscious mind. Our trainings will involve the purification of the subconscious mind, the transformation of very deep energies, as well as superficial energies. So all energies that you encounter within you can be used to help you orient yourself properly on your path of ascension. So we will be focusing on the transformation of energies. We will be focusing on the transformation of the body into a body of light. That is a very potent emphasis. We will be utilizing that body of light to perform all types of interesting, miraculous, and magical workings. By the end of this first level, you will feel as if you are more of yourself, yet simultaneously, you feel like you are something brand new, something that has never been. For these trainings will encourage the spiritual merging of you and what you would consider to be a high-level form of Egyptian divine consciousness. You understand these beings as some of the gods or goddesses of ancient Egypt, but they are not necessarily of Egypt. Not originally. They're older. So there's a lot we will get into about this. In-depth ancient secrets, in-depth esoteric connections that will show you the star maps, how these different gods and goddesses acting as representatives of different star systems, came together to assist humanity in building and constructing not just civilizations, but the many mystery schools that acted as the backbone for the civilizations. All of this and more we will explore with you. And again, this is a big continuation of the practices and the processes that we have all explored, linearly speaking, in your past. So you will find many of you, for some reason, when you do esoteric things, magical things, energetic things, it's almost like you're naturally a little good at it. You may have noticed this. It's like you're naturally a little more psychic. You naturally dream a little more deeply. Why is that? Have you ever wondered why that is? Because you're riding the momentum linearly of some of those lifetimes. Yes, it's a multi-dimensional connection between the present moment, the past and future. Nevertheless, you still create linearity. Have I not said this sentence word by word linearly? So you're creating linearly now. Therefore, you ride the momentums of the past unconsciously. Some of those momentums are past lives where high degrees of evolution were experienced. So this school is a continuation of that, picking back up where we all left off. So we thank you for receiving this. We thank you for receiving our words and our new dreams that are coming into realization through the channel and through the one you call Sashi. And speaking of this, Sashi, how are you?
I am excellent, Ryo. Thank you so much for being with us. How are you feeling on this day?
We are quite elated. We are ecstatic. Our consciousness is expanding through this particular interaction. When you focus on things like this as a group, it's not just that I am speaking to you from your own experience of your present manifestation of time. I am also simultaneously plugging into what to me is that past version of me that was working with all of you in Egypt. So in this transmission specifically, I have stretched myself across time. So I feel a little more infinite than usual.
Wonderful. On that note, would you go into the workings of your mystery school, this dreaming school where you taught people to dream while awake?
Sure. So I'll talk a little bit about the techniques, because if I explain the process, people listening will be able to put themselves into that a little bit. That will paint the picture. But the idea is through gradual relaxation of the body and through simultaneously releasing any stuck energy in the body, an individual can go into virtually any state of consciousness that they want. If you relax yourself enough and you release whatever is creating blockage, you have so much more available to you. We guide people in the mystery school into those states. And from here, we begin to guide them into a state very similar to a daydream. And as they begin to go in and out of consciousness, we begin to describe symbols to them. We begin to describe worlds to them. We begin to describe beings to them. But as we're doing this, we are guiding them deeper and deeper and deeper. As they are relaxing and going into sleep, they are also to maintain a focus on the symbol, and it will bring them into the template level of their being. The symbol will ensure that they maintain lucidity. They won't go completely to sleep. So armed with the symbol and guided by the relaxation, the meditator, the student, can journey deeper and deeper and deeper into themselves. As they go deeper and deeper, they will find that their inner world is like a mansion with many rooms. We guide them into each room, making it themed, making it preferential, making it divine in all ways, because that room is a part of you. It's a part of your life. Something in your reality is built upon it. So we go through the whole space. You change your whole inner world by making it into an inner temple. And in that inner temple, there are certain objects that can bring you to other worlds. So, through you, through your mind, we give you the keys to the multiverse. And step by step, we help you to open the proper doors in the proper sequence. So you can create the changes that you desire very specifically, very slowly, or very quickly, depending on your preference. So if done, you will gain a high level of autonomy that is, to others, godlike. You will be able to operate on levels to most. Those levels would be impossible. So that's a little bit about what was done in the school, a little bit about how it was done. But that's by no means all of it. It's just a simplified, guided description. So you can bring yourself there now. So if you like, you can join us come November.
Can you also illuminate your relationship with Ra and their role as your mentor at that time?
Sure. So for me, Ra has a multi-dimensional role. Ra has existed on the planet before. Beings have channeled him in a way that is permanent. So he's had many representatives on the earth. I have known many of his representatives. I have trained under his representatives. And through training under his representatives, I was able to become more like him. And my energy body joined his. And it catapulted me as a soul, as a spirit, into a high level of possibility. It's what enabled me to access the Sasanian world, you see? Because during these days, I was not Ryokah or Ryokah or Ryo or Rayo. I was none of these things. I was a different being with a different name, slightly different role. But I became a part of Ra through working with his human avatars. And then once I became a part of him in that way, I began to work with him directly. And through that process, I myself became one of his avatars through merging with him. That is my personal relationship with this being. So he is a being whom I trained under. He is a being I merged with. And eventually, we became indistinguishable.
Wow, that's really incredible, and it brings to mind Ra is a solar energy, this very young energy, and the workings you were doing in the school is a very yin, very lunar energy. So what happens when those two energies blend?
Sure. You essentially get dreaming while awake because it's like you are bringing the light of the sun into the darkness of the night. So it is still a solar school, but think of the solar cycle. Eventually, the sun is below the horizon line. And spiritually, this is usually the most disturbing time for a person. It's called the dark night of the soul archetypally for a reason. The school's purpose is to guide people through that, through the shadow workings, but also to activate the hidden solar powers that can only be awakened in darkness. That is the power of the sun when it is in its yin phase. This is the Venusian manifestation of the sun because remember, Venus is west, west is sunset. So the powers of Venus, these powers represent the doorways into the practices of the mystery school. Remember, it is the blue lotus temple. It starts at the bottom of the water and grows up from midnight up to high noon.
Awesome. Speaking of Blue Lotus, we felt that it was a very appropriate symbol for our school because of the connotations with immortality. And so I want to explore the the concept of the Sahu, the state of being that happens when the ka is fully energized to its maximal state and an etheric golden fire emerges within the energy system and kind of dichotomize that with the ideas of the second death and the third death.
Well, sure. Keep in mind that when the ka is fully energized, it creates a binding power. Think of it like this. The ka could be seen as a type of scaffolding. It's like a matrix that organizes not just your physical body, but it helps to organize the higher levels of body built on top of it. For example, you have ka, above this you have ba, so on. So the ka is a type of energetic foundation and a halfway point between higher and lower worlds. When the ka is specifically energized, it becomes much more than just a halfway point. The matrix that it is begins a crystallization process. So all other levels, higher and lower, become more permanent. Think of it like this. You have an energy field, and maybe there's some cracks in it, some wear and tear. Think of an aura, like an egg, and maybe there's some cracks. Think of the ka as an orb of light in the solar plexus, and as it's awakened, see that golden light fills that aura, and all of these cracks that are there get sealed in gold. Furthermore, the aura itself gets coated in gold, and it acts as a type of preservational energy. It prevents decay, it prevents breakdown, because the ka is highly correspondent with the sun. That is correspondent with gold. You have the idea of gold not tarnishing. So in the solar plexus, the main physical location of correspondence for the ka, when this is activated, the golden light of the solar plexus creates a type of miraculous indestructibility. This is why the purification processes are so important. Because if there are impurities within you and you activate the ka in that way, you can crystallize them. So that is why we focus so much on the purification in the beginning. So you crystallize what you would consider to be the best parts of you, the higher parts of you. But that's the effect when this type of awakening happens specifically.
And when someone has not learned to work with their ka, to energize their ka in this lifetime, and they transition from physical death, and then they have the possibility of experiencing the second and third death. Can you illuminate what that is for people?
Well, sure. The idea is if there are holes in your ship might fill up with water. There's holes in your ship, things might fall out of the holes. If the ka's not awakened, it means these various levels of you are not fully integrated and they are not bound together by that golden flame. Therefore, when a person projects into the spirit world at the moment of death, you must remember it's like an atmosphere. There's wind, there's currents. And if there's holes in the ship, this can disrupt the structure. And if the soul does not have the skills to repair the structure, especially not on their own, eventually it will get weaker. Yes, there are beings there that you can meet that will help you heal it. But remember, the immortal body, it's not something someone gives you. It's made inside of you. It's your own immortal potential, which you all have because you're all immortal beings. It's that immortal potential made manifest. And what this means is you do not lose continuity of consciousness when you die. Many of you, when you go to sleep at night, you'll have a dream and you lose continuity of consciousness. All of a sudden, you forget about your day. You're now just in this dream. For many, death is like this. And if you do not have all levels of you in healthy communication, you may not recognize that it's a new world and that you are continuing from a lifetime. So you might just explore as you would on Earth. And as you can see, that creates spiritual karmas that eventually lead to taking on another physical body. If you just operate in the same way you did with Earth and don't have the great remembering, well, You can wander, and that's where you get your concept of wandering ghosts. So the healthy Ka body ensures you will go to the higher spiritual levels. You will have the spiritual processes you need to have, and then from there you have a choice. You can go higher, or you can consciously take on another body. When your Ka is permanent, that choice is given to you. But if you don't have that activation, you may wander. And if you wander, you may wander into another fetus. Furthermore, you may keep wandering, unaware that you are made of energy and you're losing it because of the cracks. And well, eventually, the energy garment that you're wearing wears down. And now you are like a nude soul in the spirit world, the most intimate part of you in the ocean. So, naturally, the soul will detect that that's not where it wants to be, so it will take another body. But if it cannot guide itself to another body, because again, we're talking about a spirit journey that's unconscious here. This is not for everyone. This is for those that you consider to be unconscious people. Those that have not developed these qualities that you call to be the qualities of the Ka. Because they are unconscious and wandering, they may wander into a lifetime. They may keep wandering, not noticing they are getting weaker and weaker. And then when they are at the depths of their greatest unconsciousness, the soul will then take through the path of least resistance whatever body is available to it. That's where you get your Buddhist idea or your Hindu idea of reincarnating as a rock, as a blade of grass. Keep in mind, you can do that consciously too. There's benefit to it. Imagine becoming every mountain on earth for a lifetime. That will teach you amazing things. But nevertheless, sometimes a soul can wander into incarnations that many of you would scratch your heads at if you saw. And it's because it's the soul slept walked. It sleepwalked there. So these things can happen. That's why your ancient Egyptians were so obsessed with death. That's why your ancient Tibetans were so obsessed with death. That's why your ancient Aztecs were so obsessed with death. You may notice every culture was. It wasn't just because death was common on earth and lives sometimes were shorter. It's because they recognized that this life is preparation for the spiritual life, the true life, your real life. What you're doing when you're not here. Now, this is real in many ways, in the sense that what happens here determines what happens in the upper worlds. Everything's built on top of the physical reality. So even though it's a dream, it's one of the most important dreams you'll ever have. It's not trivial, but it is unreal and real simultaneously. So you can begin to sense that through awakening the Ka. When you awaken the Ka, again, you're energizing and you're immortalizing all of these other levels. Therefore, you become awakened on all of those other levels. So you will start to see that this is real and a dream at the same time. And that allows for you to work with energy in a superior way. So if you do that while you're alive, you will know how to do that in the spirit world. But if you don't know these things while you're alive, how will you know them in the spirit world? If you don't know these things in your dreams, why will you know it there? Is the spirit world just not the ultimate dream? Is it not just going to sleep and dreaming exponentially multiplied by the power of the infinite? So be as conscious as you can be, and our trainings shall help you to do that.
This explanation you've given, I feel very much highlights in a much broader, comprehensive way the concept of the Merkaba, beyond just being light body vehicle. It's the unification of the soul with this strong, immortal Ka energy body.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And the mer is the marriage, the Merkaba. So keep in mind that the Ka is sometimes referred to as the body of desire. Yes, this is why many of you dream at night. Sometimes you're just doing things you would do on earth that you like. You're drinking, you're with your friends, you're having a good time. The Ka body will follow what you value. It follows what you prioritize. Your priorities are connected to your desires. So when the Ka body is purified of those lower attachments. That power of desire is able to resonate with the higher powers of the soul, what you call the Ba. And it's like the immortal burning fire of desire has married the unlimited dreaming mind of the Ba. The mare is their union. It is water, it is earth, it is fire, as those three letters. It is the reference of the Dantian, of the cauldron. But which one? Where is the appropriate meeting point in the body for the Ka and the Ba? Where is this alchemical bedchamber, the mare, the union of water, earth, and fire? Well, if it's between the Ka and the Ba, it would have to be here. It is the merging of these energies within, Kabbalistically, the Tiferetic center. And once that is activated, that symbol you all use in your Kabbalistic studies, the hexagram, it becomes three-dimensional once that merging has happened in the heart. The interaction of the Ka and the Ba, male and female, the interaction of this causes this double pyramid structure to begin to spin and to spiral. The aura begins to spin from the blending of these opposites. As they blend, the aura begins to spin. And as the aura spins, not only can you enter into that same daydream state we mentioned, but instead of going into yourself, if you like, you can launch into that. And you bring your whole energy body with you, meaning whatever changes you make within those multidimensional worlds will become physical changes. What you do will start to happen. All doors will open to you. Remember, love opens all doors. The superpower of the Merkaba is higher love, because that's what merges the opposites. Without the higher love, they won't get together. That's the cauldron in the heart, the energy center in the heart.
Beautiful.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'd like
We
to.
have a hint for you.
Yes.
What is the starting three letters for your word Mercury?
Mm.
And why is it the hermaphrodite, the man and the woman together? Do you see?
What an awesome Easter egg.
Yes. Remember, Mercury is mind. And in many of your ancient cultures, mind was not up here. Mind is said to be an extension of the heart. Remember, salt, mercury, sulfur. Mercury, mind, personal self. Sulfur, spirit, collective self. So we are getting into other territories here. We'll stay focused. We know you have many exciting things you wish to explore, but that is a deep dive for the Merkaba. And of course, practices do exist for this. We have taught a few. So more to come there. We can explore at your leisure.
Could we explore the role of the Ren, the Egyptian concept of the soul name?
Well, sure. When you have a soul name, it is like a phone number for the higher spiritual parts of you, which means if you need to have a conversation with that level of you, you can. You can call that part of yourself. If you don't have the name, you sort of have to just aim for your spirit and hope you're talking to it. But if you know what to call it, if you know its energy, well, now you can have a very direct relationship with it, very clear communication. And of course, if you have that kind of clear communication and guidance with yourself in life, you'll naturally have that in death. But if you don't know yourself as the spirit in life, it's going to be harder to do that in death. If you have that magical name, the soul name, the Ren, in life, you will have it in death, and you keep following that energy. It's obvious to you because you've spent your life working with it, and it's your higher energy. You are the one who dreams that name into existence. So once you have it, it's a phone number for the higher levels of you. Without it, you're mainly working with your physical mind, and in between that, in altered states, you're working with the higher self. But it may not be as consistent for you. It might feel separate from you. You might say, sometimes I feel it, sometimes I don't. With the magical name, with the Ren, you never cease feeling it. It's always there. And if you ever forget it, you have the name. It comes right back. That's the power of the Ren. And that is why it is said to help people survive death. The other thing is, the Ren will reflect not just your own creativity, but it will also reflect the original creativity that went into you as a created being. So it seems like your own name is really just one understanding of the energy that you are. But that personal understanding will be close to how the source sees you. So with the magical name, not only are you closer to your true self, you are also closer to the levels of reality that many of you say you wish to go to. Not just in death, but also as you live on earth and thrive. Many of you say you wish to feel the source love, the source power, the source connection. The Ren helps you do that in life and in death.
Awesome. It sounds like the Ren can be used the way Kabbalists use divine names of God. We can use our own Ren, our own soul names in this way.
That's exactly it. That's precisely it. You are creating your own divine name, and it is a name of power.
Awesome. So I remind everyone listening, if this is of interest to you, Tyler is facilitating a workshop to dream this name up tomorrow. So definitely check that out.
Yes. We have worked with the channel in this process. That's how he was able to create his name. During the workshop, we will also speak. We will talk about this. We will talk about different applications of it. It will largely be taught by him and by your own inner being together. So we thank you for sharing that with the audience, and we are excited to receive many of you at this training.
So I'd like to honor the interest that much of the audience has in ancient Egypt's open contact with extraterrestrials. What did that look like?
Well, it looked like all types of things. It looked like extraterrestrials incarnating in human form through a type of overshadowing process. So instead of a usual Earth-based consciousness choosing to enter into the fetus, special permissions were given where extraterrestrials could directly incarnate into human fetuses. So many extraterrestrials were incarnated as humans in Egypt. They created a type of baseline grounding energy that allowed for higher beings that were more exotic in nature compared to the human form to be able to actually descend and dwell amongst ancient Egyptians. They shared with the Egyptians many technologies. They were not necessarily watered down, but after what happened with Atlantis, the types of things that were being shared were a little more appropriate. The beings of Sirius, the beings of Orion, the beings of what you call Ursa Major and Minor, the beings of Draco, they all decided, okay, last time we gave everything, they almost sunk the ship. Let's reduce what we're giving a little bit. So they were a little bit more specific with how they guided the Egyptians. They sought to guide the Egyptians in their conduct, in their morality, in their sense of ethics, so they would not repeat what the Atlanteans before them had done. And this is where things like the law of Ma'at come in. This is why Tot or Tehuti was so heavily emphasized, because both of them together were said to help maintain law, order, ethics, morality, and truth within the collective. So the extraterrestrials that were working with the Egyptians really sought to help them organize and to revere the sacredness of life and death, which, of course, the Atlanteans began to see as trivial things that they were beyond. They thought themselves to be beyond the cycles. So they acted like the cycles weren't real. They acted like they didn't matter, and it caused them to treat the earth and people in harsh ways. The ETs guiding the Egyptians attempted to really instill this sacred emphasis of life. Of course, the Egyptian empire was far from perfect, and extraterrestrials had to respect what the Egyptians chose. And they did. They didn't enjoy all of it, what the Egyptians chose, but most of it they did, because they were able to continue that relationship in a way that was healthier. However, things change, culture changes. Sometimes the collective's heart gets a little darker. And when that happens, some of these beings begin to withdraw. So that is what you describe as your fall of Egypt, when it became more susceptible to things like invasions, things like this. So that's a little bit about some of the extraterrestrial connections. But all those groups we mentioned, Sirius, Orion, Draco, Ursa Major, Minor, all of these represent some of the connections of the beings that you call the extraterrestrials, whom translated as the Egyptian gods and goddesses for those ancient people.
This idea of the fall seems to connect to something myself and the channel were speaking of earlier. This idea of, in these times when we think of the height of Egypt, the height of Atlantis, magic was so present on the world. And then something happened, and it seems like all the magic kind of took a back seat. Things became more black and white. How do we begin the process of restoring magic and color to the world?
Well, it begins with connecting very deeply to your inner sun, your inner spiritual heart. That is the key, because that is the doorway that symbolizes the entry point for the life force itself. It's that life force that creates a newborn baby. It's that life force that creates the sprouting of the seed. It's that life force that causes the sun to rise. It elevates, it brings up prana and apana in your Sanskrit. So it is this spiritual sun within the heart, within Kabbalistically, what's called the Tiferet Center, that acts specifically as the doorway for prana, the doorway for the life force that causes things to rise, that causes things to be elevated. When you begin to get in touch with that, it is as if you are getting in touch with three things. Think of the following: a beam of white light, which goes through a prism that then expresses as a rainbow. This is what happens when the heart center is awakened. The heart center is awakened first through self-love. Begin to love and accept yourself as deeply as you can. We will be getting into these practices in the school. And once this happens, the idea is you then are to become very in love with the forces that have brought you into existence, you see? Once you love yourself, you say, wow, I'm here. How did I get here? And you begin to recognize your existence physically. It's dependent on many forces working together. The next step is to extend the love to these forces. They are the forces that make it rain, that make it cloudy. They are the forces that cause the grass to grow. They are the forces that cause the planets to spin. They are the forces that cause the sun and the stars to shine, extending your love from beyond yourself to all of these forces, microcosm and macrocosm, loving acceptance for the universe that these forces have created. It may not be perfect, but at least it is. And at least you have the free will to contemplate whether you enjoy it or not. That's not the case everywhere, but it is the case on Earth. So start to fall in love with that. And then the third level, if you love yourself and you love the entirety of the existence, well, naturally, you must also love the people within it, the beings within it. So self, source, humanity. That is the order we would recommend that you utilize in the process of growing your heart and sharing your love. Remember, love is a fire. It needs wood. You must take care of your health. You must train yourself so you always have energy. So that way you can always keep the heart fire burning. If you're low energy, if you're not taking care of yourself, it's like you don't have enough wood for the fire. So these are the things that will bring the magic back. These are the things that will bring the miracles back. That's the door for the life force. What you consider to be magic, high magic, magic of light. This is like prana. It is levity. It brings things up. What you consider to be dark magic or harmful magic. This is like apana. It brings things down. It lowers the frequency. So what happened to your people? The doorway to prana began to shut. The doorway to apana began to open. This is the shrinking of the heart and the expanding of the sexual centers and the root chakra. Remember, the root chakra is the lowest chakra in the body. It corresponds not just with the groin, but also with the feet. It is the chakra that is based the most in separation. Because your species began to hyper-focus here, you began to see things in purely physical ways. And these amazing technicolor energies we're describing, you stopped noticing them. Stop feeling them. And as a result, you forgot about how to use them. Because you were too focused on the pleasures of the body and what Earth had to offer. What do we mean by this? Loving only food and what feels good. Loving only what is physical, you see. That became the species' focus at a certain point. And focusing only on that and not on the spiritual evolution will cause a forgetting. And the magic that drew them to the delights will actually start to fade. And that's when it's a rotten delight. Have you ever done something you usually love too much? Maybe it's too much chocolate, then you finally take that 1,000th bite and you want to throw up. It is sort of like this. They wandered into this state where they made themselves uncomfortable, they made themselves numb, they made themselves aware of energy by simply following that which felt good to such a degree that it created this type of psychic injury, which you describe as a type of numbness of the spiritual senses, a numbness of the magic. Does this make sense?
It does.
Yes. Yes. Physical things are fine. We recommend you enjoy as many of them as you can. But as you enjoy them, remember what's real. The pleasure will go, but that burning love in your heart will remain. Let that always be there. Let that be the carrier frequency, the carrier wave behind everything you do. Enjoy whatever pleasure you like. Be responsible, be safe, but enjoy it in a way that supports you in your giving and receiving of love and the fulfillment of your highest inspiration, whatever that may be to you. You might call that your divine will, your true will, your purpose. But let those things, your love and your purpose, be a part of everything you do, even if it's a simple pleasure, like scrolling on the internet. Don't forget those things. Always keep them in your mind. Our suggestion is make that your primary focus, your obsession in everything you do. We say obsession because we know it's strong, and we know most of you shy away from that. But there are times when obsession can be healthy. Because what is obsession other than hyper-focus at the expense of other pieces of information and details? If you don't have a focus in your interactions, you won't necessarily know how to move. You'll sort of move randomly. You'll move intuitively. You'll go off of feeling alone. However, if you are focusing on the giving and receiving of love and the fulfillment of your purpose, you will see everything you need to see to do those things in every interaction. It will narrow down all of those infinite possibilities to just a few, and you'll know which ones are the right ones.
Thank you for that very beautiful exposition. And I would ask from here, would you guide us in meditation to connect with our parallel Egyptian selves and our celestial teachers connected to that time?
Of course. Let us all begin. For everyone joining in, you may do this exercise seated. Ideally, have the spine upright. Don't be leaning back. Nice upright spine. Open your chest. Open your chest. Drop your shoulders. Sink your ribs. Feel your tailbone, your sacrum. Feel it supporting you. Feel the foundation of your spine. Take a nice inhale through the hands and through the feet into the heart center. Breathe in. Exhale. Make the ha sound like you're sighing, but whisper. We'll do it loudly so you can hear. Again, inhale through hands and feet to heart center. And again, inhale. And now we are going to clean the heart before we start. Everyone, take your hands. We're going to inhale, make fists. Squeeze your hands. Inhale to the heart center. And exhale, let out the ha sound from the heart center down. Open the hands. Feel that heat traveling from your heart down to the navel. Inhale, squeeze the fists. Exhale, ha sound, open the palms, direct the heart's energy down to the navel. Long ha sound, really draw out the exhale. Third time, inhale, squeeze the fists. Exhale, open the fists, ha sound. And bring your mind down into your belly button, down into the low abdomen. And see here a beautiful lake. See around the lake, tall reeds, tall grass. See beautiful pyramids in the distance surrounding the lake. And see beautiful blue lotuses growing up out of the lake. And see in the center of this lake, one lotus larger than the other. See it as the center lotus of this sacred lake within you. And see yourself here, seated in the center of this lotus. All around you, the petals of the lotus can be seen like mountains. And you lie back in the lotus, looking up at the sky. And as you look up at the sky, see the sun. And see the sun as your heart center that you're looking up at from the lotus. It's beautiful heart center. See the Egyptian symbol, the Ankh, within this sun. It is like a cross, but instead of a vertical line above the horizontal, there's a circle, like the sign for Venus or the female symbol in our pop culture. See this golden Ankh here. And see that beautiful rainbow rays of light shine down from this heart, down onto the waters below. And see a beautiful type of mist, a type of steam rising up from this lotus lake. And as the steam rises, feel it come up the front channel of your body. Bring it from the lake to your belly button. Guide the mist, guide the steam up past the solar plexus, up past the sun of the heart, and up past third eye, up to the crown. And see at your crown another lotus beginning to form. See these beautiful lotus petals. You can make this one blue. You can make it pink. You can even do another color like diamond. But pick a color, a lotus that's very nice to you. You can stick with blue if you want to be consistent. And see from this lotus, the stem, the roots coming down through your center channel, down through the sun, down into that lake down below, but go deeper, down past the body, out the perineum, the bottom of your body. Go down with these roots, down, down, down into the earth. Feel the stem, the roots spiraling down deeper into the planet, and see that these roots travel deep below the waters of the earth, and they plug in to the bottoms of the oceans. And you see this powerful macro lotus that goes from these underwater oceans through your body up to the crown. Roll the eyes up, keep your chin tucked, and see high in the universe above you the constellation of Orion and the star of Sirius. And see Orion turn into the god Osiris, and see Sirius turn into the goddess Isis, and see them come together, see them sharing the heart, sharing love, see their energy fields unify, and see their heart centers merge as one, and see many rainbow emanations of light coming down, and see in these rainbow emanations tiny ankhs, many ankhs descending down in the rainbow light into your crown's lotus, and just bring it down into the lake. Feel that water inside of you is absorbing all of this energy, pulling down from above on your inhale. On your exhale, feel the lake absorbing all of this love, all of this healing. Inhale, pull down. Exhale into the lake. See the water getting very healthy, very pure, beautiful water. Like you can see transparent through it, like it's glass. See it getting like diamond water, pulling more ankhs down. Let's do 3 more, pulling this light down. And another breath. Pull the rainbow light and the ankhs down. And from here, see this heart of Isis and Osiris as one in the night sky. And feel and see their love just endlessly pouring in and out of it. And see that a new life is forming inside of their heart. And this life begins to develop. And see this being come into existence. See it as a being of Egyptian power. See it as something not of the earth, but it is adorned in Egyptian iconography and symbols. See that it knows you, feel you have a link to it. You don't know it, what it is yet, but you know it is from Isis and Osiris. And see a type of angelic Egyptian-themed being come from their heart. It exists within their shared heart. And see that this being opens its heart. And see that it smiles. And hear this being echo a prayer into the universe on your behalf. It is a prayer of peace. It is a prayer of connection. It is a prayer of devotional relationship with one another, bringing out the best in one another, devoting oneself to the heart of the other. And see that this beautiful being from its heart emits its own rainbow light down. Ankhs descend down. Feel this very special new life and its energy coming down into you. If you are looking for a name for this being, what to call it, a placeholder name you can use is Horus. You can use Horus. Horus represents the sun, the child of Isis and Osiris. So you can use Horus as a placeholder name until you get a more personal name from this being. But see this beautiful energy coming right down, descending right through you, and feel how clear and clean your center channel is getting, your aura is getting. Like, we're just doing a deep clean. Let's just keep bringing this light down. Mm. Mm. Now what we're going to do is we're going to simply put our mind into the lake inside of you in your low abdomen. Imagine you're going under the water into the center of the lake. And just find a nice place within the center of you in your lower abdomen, level with your navel and spine right here. Feel an area inside. You can rest your mind that feels very good. We're just going to let go and really feel you're at the bottom of this lake. Close your eyes and become aware of the space inside you and around you. The waters within, the waters without. Feel your hair, feel your pores, the pores of your skin. And feel how this sacred lake inside is filled with all of the rainbow light, all of the ankhs. Imagine this same lake. It's around your physical body. You're in it, both energetically and physically. Inhale through your pores. Pull all of that energy into the center of your low abdomen. So from outside in, inhale. And on your exhale, feel your orbit, feel your aura, feel your abdomen expand outwardly in all directions to the universe. Inhale, pull the lake's power in. Exhale, expand into the lake in all directions. Inhale, draw in. Exhale, expand. And continue. We'll go for a few minutes. Go at your own pace. Remember, you're holding the sense of being at the bottom of the lake, and you're pulling the lake's power in and pushing it out with the inhale and exhale. We're going to take an inhale, then imagine all of this energy from the exercise forms into a diamond sphere of light in your low abdomen. See that lotus at the top of the lake, the center lotus, holding this orb. Inhale, see the orb inside come into manifestation and pull all that spiritual energy into its center. See the lotus holding the orb. See the Egyptian Ankh in the center of the orb in gold. And we're going to speak our energy program, our prayers, our divine will into this orb. Powers of the Egyptian pantheon. Powers of the land of Kem. Powers of the eternal sun. Powers of the blue lotus. We call upon thee. Activate our awareness and our relationship to our higher interdimensional and extra-dimensional friends and allies whom have assisted us not only in this life, but also during our Egyptian incarnations. May they work with our higher self to educate us, to guide us, and to sculpt us into our highest possible manifestation of ourselves. May this be done in a way that nourishes our endless enjoyment. May this be done in a way that lifts up and nourishes all beings with divinity, with truth, with knowledge and love. May we rise together in love, glory, and true will. And may this vibrate infinitely throughout the multiverse. So mote it be, and so it is. Rest for just a moment. And hold the feeling of complete success in your heart. Hold nothing else. Complete success. Let go. Ride that momentum of success into the waters of oneness. Just rest and let go. When you choose success, you will naturally feel good. And let your mind reflect on the meditation. You'll find you start to have beautiful thoughts, beautiful sounds, beautiful images. Many things may come up, but just notice and let yourself begin to daydream. To go into the daydream state, the following mantra may be used. Mind awake, body asleep. Mind awake, body asleep. Mind awake, body asleep. You may notice you start rocking a little bit, seemingly automatically. This is the craniosacral pulse. This means it's working. If your body starts rocking very gently, little movements, it means it's working. And now feel that you are waking up from a dream and you're entering into a new life. Your day has truly begun. Your new life has truly begun as you open your eyes. Don't open them yet. Put your mind into the heart. Feel the heart's love radiating up to the eyes. Feel your physical eyes become warm. Smile with joy. Smile with success like you were just born. Smile. Open your eyes. Clap your hands. Pat your head. Pat your body. And welcome back to your new home. It is whatever you say it is. We thank you for traveling with us. This and more will be explored during our trainings and initiations, again, starting November 2nd. So if you like this, if you love this, if you wish to know this as a part of you, come and explore and dream like never before. We thank you all for this wonderful gathering, this ecstatic transmission and form of guidance that we've been able to provide that is to us quite unique compared to what we have done with you previous to this. So for us, it is quite exhilarating, highly enjoyable, highly exciting. So we're having a blast. Come share it with us. Our unconditional love to you all. Good day, good night, good now. Sweet life and sweet dreams. Okay. Thank you, everybody. That was really nice. That was a really great meditation. Yeah, thanks. Thanks. Well, guys, we really, I'm like tranced out. I'm still like there. But what I want to say, what I'm trying to say in English,
You're dreaming while awake.
I'm dreaming while awake. And what I am saying while streaming while awake is the following. Thanks for being here and listening to this. We had a great time. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the magical name training. we'll see you guys on the 16th, where me and Sashi are going to dive into some amazing stuff. Mario and Lynn will be providing stuff too. It's a big Halloween party. That's the 16th. Divine Will, healing, and Halloween. Bring a costume, please. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we need to get used to dressing up. I mean, he mentioned deity forms in the Egyptian stuff. So we won't say any more about that, but let's just say learning how to get into a character might come in handy. So come to the Halloween party. And of course, we'll see many of you at this training. Whoever comes, thank you. It's going to be really special. Whatever relationships are formed will be super divine and wildly powerful. So we're looking forward to meeting you guys in that training. And I think we'll both recognize some fun, familiar faces there as well. So have a great day. And Sashi, before we depart, is there anything you'd like to share or promote or talk about before we get off the stream?
I just invite everyone who really wants to dive into the true teachings of Egypt, the mystery teachings that were held secret for a very long time, that reserved really for only a select elite few. Please join us for the Blue Lotus Temple. The cat's out of the bag. We want to get this information out there. It's crucially important. It is our divine destiny to achieve these states of immortality, to achieve the state of Sahu, to be sovereign souls traveling in our golden etheric fire throughout the multiverse. So if that's something that excites you, please join us for the Blue Lotus Temple. We're very excited. Lots more to come, lots more new channelings to come, new beings. Tyler will be channeling the Hathors. We might get some Thoth. Lots of cool stuff. Lots of Tyler and his incredible gift taken to a whole nother level. So please join us.
Beautifully put. Thank you. Thank you. We're looking forward to seeing you guys there. We're looking forward to a lot. And thankfully, it's all right around the corner. So we're looking right here. We love you guys. We'll see you again very soon, and have a wonderful rest of this Saturday. Let's have a great time. See you all soon.